everybody asking me if Moti created a safe zone, or the US government, the Israeli government, or any government. I can assure you, Moti did not, the Syrian people did, and I will explain in a second. Then let me show you the map on my machine. That's the blue side, it's the Israeli Golan Heights, if you see the blue area. And you're seeing a green area, that's an FSA. The green part is the Free Syrian Army, which run right around 10 to 15 kilometers east to west. And if you look, if you know the north, Mount Hermon going south, it's right around 90 kilometers between north and south. You see a small tiny little area close to the Israeli-Jordanian border. That's Shadar Yarmouk, I'm sorry. That's the ISIS, which Daesh, sorry. That's ISIS or Daesh.
Which one?
The black one right here on the area, if you look at the same map, about a year ago was a smaller and actually grew a little bit. On the right in between, that's the highway to Damascus, between Dara and Damascus, and to the right of it, that's where the American operating with the Free Syrian Army and the Jordanian. That's kind of the situation on the ground. It's fairly, did not move much, except a little bit with the ISIS, right over a year. There's some fighting in the north, but that area became fairly safe. Just to give you kind of my personal experience with the Syrian people, I've been helping them. I started in the north, been doing it for 5 years. Mostly moderate people. ISIS are not Syrian, most of them. ISIS are foreigners, came into Syria. Al-Nusra, there's some branches of Al-Qaeda in Nusra within the Syrian, and that was before even the revolution. But that was growing as the food was coming only from the Al-Nusra group. If you're at FSA and there's no food or money, you go and join Al-Nusra. Doesn't mean you believe in the Al-Nusra views, but you join them. Same time the Israeli was taking injured into Israel. My comment was, let's help the Syrian people to help themselves. Take field hospital medication, supply into the other side. 2 weeks ago, came back to Israel. You're seeing in the news some supply was going in. My comment was, you can bring supply, limited amount of supply. You gotta bring to all the moderate on the other side. If you look inside, in that area, the green area, the area was about around 1 million people. 200,000 people left around the Quneitra region. Many sleep under trees, many sleep in the woods, and there's no woods because actually used it for fire, in caves, all over the place. Those are displaced. 100,000 sitting by the Jordanian cannot enter Jordan. Jordan actually black. Same as Lebanon, same as Turkey. People cannot go anywhere. Some do escape and they reach to Italy, for example. There is no reason for it. Nobody wanted, the people I'm talking to, Syrian, very proud people. They want to stay in Syria. They don't speak Italian, they don't speak German, English, barely English. There's an opportunity right now to take the supply in, bring civil society back to life, bring them back to normal life, meaning education, medical assistance, and food supply. That will create, and it's not the Israeli created it or the American created it, the Syrian people created it themselves. That's something the world really needs to understand. Having a next door neighbor to the Israeli, I'm sure affected being that good neighbors from the Israeli and the Syrian and helping each other with the transfer of injured. There's an opportunity to bring right around 1 million people back to their home. There's an opportunity to put back those hospitals to operational in Syria, and kids which did not go to school in the last 5 years, back to school.
Maybe we'll ask you to say why he supports this idea or joined it.
I met Moti a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, on a business-based level. And ever since then, I've been aware, familiar to some extent, on his commitment to the Syrian cause, the humanitarian support cause for the Syrian people. And I mean, in a way, I must say, impressed by his personal commitment and his willingness to invest all his resources into this issue on a one-man journey to make a difference. We hear the numbers, hundreds of thousands of people, the daily bombings and attacks and so on and so forth. It's really here. It's really in our backyard. And in the very same way that we are always looking at things from somewhat a remote way, I suddenly understood why Moti is so personally committed to this.